Shalom, shalom. This week we have a double parsha, both Nitzavim and Vayelech. And there seems to be a stark contrast in the way the Torah describes the positioning of the people and in Nitzavim and that of Moshe in Vayelech. In the beginning, it opens up in Nitzavim with that the nation were all Nitzavim, were all standing there that day. And when it talks in the next parsha, Vayelech, it says that Moshe Vayelech, he was going. And it never goes on to tell us where was he going. It doesn't seem that he was really going anywhere. And so this is a mystery, and the commentators try and explain it all different ways. But I think if you look at the content of both Nitzavim and Vayelech, that God is trying to tell us something more about, in a metaphorical sense, that the nation they were standing, we are told more than once that this nation was an obstinate nation. They were Am Kasher Oref, they were stubborn. And Moshe says, don't be content with where you think you've gotten and that you think that, don't rest on your laurels thinking, okay, God's with you today and he took you out and you see all these miracles and you're going into the land. That don't think it's just because you're so great that you're going in. This is a promise that was made to your forefathers. Why does he say this? And I think the reason why he says it is because it's a basic concept that we learn. We learn this in Pirkei Avot, that you can't just be who you are today and to be complacent, thinking, I'm good, everything's all right, and just go on doing things the way you do without constantly thinking and striving for better and to be good. And don't just lay back and do what you've been doing and think that all is good because all is going okay. Because when we don't strive for better, when we don't analyze and work at this, when we don't go out, Vayelech, like Moshe goes out to become better every single day of our life, when we go out to conquer the day, to do better, to be better, to do something that why you're here today, to accomplish something more. If you're not doing that, you're going to end up slowly regressing and falling into bad ways. And Moshe is trying to tell the people this. And God says even to Moshe that the people are going to stray. And I think it's hinted at in this word, why are they going to stray? Because they weren't bad then. They were okay. They were doing all right. But the problem is that they weren't going to achieve more. And we see this, I think, in that parsha. In Vayelech, Moshe says, I cannot, let's say to ulavo anymore. I cannot go out and come in anymore. Go out and come in where? That's another question that the commentaries try and tackle. And I think what he's saying is Moshe was always a person, and we know he was on the highest level, right? Never was, never will be somebody as great as Moshe, because he was always striving. And he's always trying to go up to a higher and higher level. And this was not the mindset of the people. And he had to go, as many great people do, from this place that he is of climbing this ladder of achievement to be better and to do more constantly in his life. And every time he had to contend, which was always with the nation, he had to come down, so to speak, from where he was at, from his personal striving and achievement, to come down, to go out of where he's out and to come into the people, to try and drag them along, to try and teach them, to try to move them, try to motivate them, to try to get them to want to do better and to be better like he was, because he wants what's best for the nation. And that's what is the best for every person, is to strive to be the best you can, to do the best you can in the ways of God, good moral life. And he's saying, I can't do that anymore. He knew, because God said, that's it, your life is up, and that he wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. And he was trying to convey to the people not to be complacent. Don't sit there and think you're okay and just go about your day, because it's a slow regression, but it happens. And before you know it, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. Think, analyze, do, and try and always strive to achieve more and to be this incredible person that you can be, and this incredible nation, if united and if working in the ways of God, that you can be. You don't have to suffer, because the suffer is a self-inflicted suffering of being lazy, of not trying, of not doing, of just taking the easy route. And it's just, we pay for it in the end. And I think his last dying words were trying to convey this message to the nation. And I think this is very pertinent for Elul right now, that we should just take stock and try and be better, not to look at the difficulty and look at the mountain that we're trying to climb, just to acknowledge that where we are right now is not enough. Why do we know it's not enough? Because we're still alive. And God still gives us a breath of life, is because we still have somewhere, Vayelech, we still have somewhere to go. We still have somewhere to strive. So don't stand still. Don't be Nitzavim. Just start that walk. That's all God expects from you. He doesn't expect you right now to jump and be an angel and do all sorts of things that you haven't done best. Just start walking, start doing, start trying to achieve with the cognizance that you're trying to go somewhere. And then great things can happen. With that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.